side of the shuttle, you'll be seeing the award-winning Earful Tower. The Earful Tower's design is based on one that Walt Disney had built at his Burbank studios back in 1939. Our tower stands a lucky 13 stories tall and is capped off with a pair of giant Mickey Mouse ears. Each one of those ears weighs in at about 2.5 tons. Its 28.5 diameter translates to a cap size of 342 3/8. And if you're wondering, how do I know the cap size of a water tower? Well, in holiday season fast, we capped off those ears with a large red and white stocking cap. The Disney MGM Studios is much more than just a theme park. We're actually a high-tech working production studio. We feature sound stages, outdoor sets, state-of-the-art editing facilities, and everything else that you need to make television, movies, even live radio shows. Now, because of all this, usually we have a number of production crews working here at the Backlot. Today was no different. We had Radio Disney broadcasting live. We had Jim Henson Productions filming their brand new show called Animal, testing out some brand new special effects. Now, due to their filming schedule, we've had to detour around the set for the better part of the day. But if we get lucky and catch the crew on a break, they will allow our tour shuttle to go inside and get a look at the set. It looks like we'll talk about that a little bit later, because right now, here are two of the surviving P40 aircraft from Touchstone Pictures, Pearl Harbor, which stars Ben Affleck, Josh Hartnett, and Cuba Gooding Jr. The reason I call them surviving, well, there were only 16 of these ever built for the film, and the other 14 were destroyed during the filming of the action sequences. Now, if you've seen Pearl Harbor, you might realize there were more than just 16 planes in the film. Well, the rest of them were just CGI, or computer-generated images added in post-production. Last eyeful of the Earful Tower. Because right now we're heading indoors, inside, to the glamorous world of creative costuming. Creative costuming all begins with a designer's sketch. You can see some of the designer's artwork on the walls to your right and to your left. Then our talented team of seamstresses and tailors go to work to bring these sketches to life. Coming up with the display cases on the left-hand side. Inside of that room, they have to get everything from the Wheel on Wheel of Fortune, the sets of WCW Wrestling, Rosie O'Donnell's desk, and the backdrop for Live with Reeves and Kelly. Now, one of the best things about the movies is they can take us from the house next door to the bottom of the ocean, or even to a dangerous canyon. Well, right now we're going to enter the Backlot. We can take you to any one of these three places. And if you happen to be up for the undersea adventure, well, head to the green tent coming up on your left-hand side and houses the underwater special effects tank. This is most recently used in the movie House on Haunting Hill and for episodes of America's Most Wanted. If you get a glimpse inside, you might say it just looks like a large swimming pool, and it does. But the Walt Disney World, we'd love to have you, but don't pack your suitcases yet. Take a good look through the first house. That's right, through it and all the way to the backyard. The homes here are just facades or false fronts. That means they have no backs or insides. They're just empty shells, and all 8 houses are just used for exterior shots only. Coming up on your right-hand side, the second house, number 242. It was Byrnes House in the movie Ernest Days, the full-length feature ever shot here at the studios. That was way back in 1988, 1 year prior to the theme park's grand opening to the public. And since then, each and every one of these houses have been used in your left-hand side. It was home to the Emmy award-winning series, The Golden Girls, Dorothy, Sophia, Blanche, and Rose. And while all the exterior shots were done here in Orlando, the exterior shots are done in San Diego. Next door to the Golden Girls, the Blue Cape Cod-style house is home to Alice from the Disney Channel's Adventures in Wonderland. And across the street, the 2-story beige facade home to Dr. Harry Weston, played by Richard Mulligan in Touchstone Television's Empty Nest. Now, when crews go out on location to real cities and towns, they run into a whole lot of problems. Any of these problems. Directly ahead of us is the urban counterpart to Residential Street. This is our New York Street set. But right now, we're going off a little deeper into the Backlot. We'll come back to get a better look at our version of New York. Now, one of the most popular things in any movie that chase down or just simply destructive, well, they end up here in our boneyard. Each boneyard has one by a major studio production company. It's just a place to store those oversized props until we can use them again. First up, we have 3 totem heads used in the 13th Warrior starring Antonio Banderas. Next, a red and silver spaceship flown by Christopher Lloyd in Disney's version of My Favorite Martian. From the Star Wars trilogy, a sandskip from Return of the Jedi and a snowspeeder from Empire Strikes Back. The 2 miniatures were used in the filming of Mighty Joe Young, and director Steven Spielberg chose all the military-looking vehicles for Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. When you pass by the tank, you might notice the treads are made of rubber and not metal. Well, that's just one of the ways that we help with the wear and tear on the stuntmen and women. 2 mining cars from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and the yellow forklift from Bicentennial Man starring Robin Williams. The next 5 props are from the Oscar award-winning film Who Framed Roger Rabbit, first Judge Doom's infamous Dipmobile, and then a Pacific Electric trolley car. Now, take a closer look. Where we remove that fiberglass wheel cover, you'll see it's just a modified city bus. A lot cheaper than laying down trolley tracks all over our movie set. 3 build permits for just 1 car in this film. They represent 3 different levels of destruction. Green car from the movie Big Trouble. Yellow helicopter flown by Bill Nye the Science Guy. And the blue cockpit is from the movie Blue Thunder. The 2 antique prop landing in Disney's 1991 hit The Rocketeer. And the long black speedboat was custom built for Disney Presents The 100 Lives of Blackjack Savage. The 2 futuristic pods, they're from Starship Troopers, and finally the large silver pod on the end is Max from our 1986 hit. It was called Flight of the Navigator. If you take a look across the canal, there's the backside of all the homes we just looked at on Residential Street. As you can see, it looks a whole lot different from this point of view, but we only build what the camera needs to see. Okay, well, directly ahead of us is the large outdoor set. I mentioned it earlier in today's tour. We had a production crew. They were filming some special effects. But due to the weather, I'm pretty sure they had gone home for this evening. That's okay, though. We'll go inside, get a look at the set, and then continue on with the rest of tonight's tour. It's very important at this time, everyone please remain seated. Keep a firm grip on any loose articles. To get through this set, we do have to go over a very bumpy wooden bridge. The entire set is a canyon. It's designed after one in Southern California. Took our crews a little over 6 months to build. Now, that may seem like a long time for just one set. But if you think about how long it would take Mother Nature to build something like this, she did a pretty good job. Production crew, is there anyone up in the booth? Guys, we did bring a live tour group inside. Production crew, powered brake nozzle shot just above the camera's lens. It's super brake. So just hold on one quick second, I'll get us out of this. Scene 1, take 2. Production crew, unfortunately we did bring a live tour group inside. You guys know you can't film. These are day guests, and we are going to have to get them out of the way. Guys, can anyone hear me? Everyone just sit back, relax. I'll go to center. Hold on, everybody. Disney's private jet plane he originally used at the World's Fair in 1964. Now, coming up, if you look up and to the right, kind of through the trees, you'll get a quick glimpse of some of the steel structures that help keep our Florida backlot standing. All of the facades or false fronts that you've seen can withstand hurricane winds of up to 100 miles per hour. Now, that may not seem very impressive at first, but if you take a closer look at some of these buildings, you'll notice they're made of styrofoam, fiberglass, and plywood, and the styrofoam's just covered with a thin layer of stucco, but really there isn't a single brick on our New York Street set. A great photo opportunity coming up. If you look to the Washington Square Arch, you can see the New York City skyline right here in Central Florida. It's a trick better known as forced perspective. They're really just two-dimensional painted slats positioned at the end of the street. And why the real Empire State Building stands over 100 stories tall, well, ours stands just about 4. Now, we are currently coming to the very end of today's tour. Your last stop is the American Film Institute Showcase. The current exhibit is called Dress to Thrill, the Fashionable Women in Film. You can see some of the costumes and garments worn by the leading ladies of Hollywood's golden age. Now, we are going to ask you to please remain seated until the shuttle comes to a